Good morning, and thanks for joining me today for Kids Time. We are still in the season of Easter, and so I wanted to share with you a story today about the disciples and how they encountered Jesus after he had risen from the dead. Doubting Thomas. The disciples were hiding in a house the night Jesus rose from the dead. They were afraid. Bam! They locked all the doors. Jesus came and stood by them. "Peace be with you," he said. The disciples looked up in surprise. Jesus showed them his hands and his side so that they would know it was him. The disciples were very happy. Again, Jesus said to them, "Peace be with you. God has sent me to you. Now it's your turn to go tell the rest of the world about me." Jesus breathed on them in a very special way. He said, "With this breath, I will always be in your hearts, even when I am in heaven. You now have the power to do the things I've asked you to do." Thomas was the only disciple not there that night. When he got back, the others excitedly told him about Jesus' visit. "I don't believe you," Thomas said. "I'll believe when I can touch Jesus' wound." A week later, Thomas and the other disciples were in the same house. Jesus came again and stood with them. "Peace be with you," he said to them. "Thomas," Jesus commanded, "come here. Give me your hands. Put your finger on the wounds in my hand. Put your hand by the wound in my side. Do not doubt anymore. It is time for you to believe." Thomas's eyes popped. "My Lord and my God," he exclaimed. Jesus answered him, "You believe because I'm here with you and you've touched me. Think of those who have not seen me but believe in me anyway. You should believe even when you cannot see it for yourself." Do you remember what words Jesus said to the disciples in our story? Yeah, it was "peace be with you." And those words comforted the disciples because they were very scared and afraid because Jesus had just risen from the dead. But those words, "peace be with you," comforted them and made them feel better. And sometimes in our lives, especially right now when we're all having to stay home and our lives are a little bit in an upheaval and we can't go to school, we sometimes get scared and afraid too, and our stomach kind of gets in a knot, right? And in those knots, we just try to get rid of them, and no matter what we do, sometimes they just won't go away and those knots get bigger and bigger. But if we remember to trust in Jesus and pray to Jesus, those knots will go away because Jesus brings us that peace. I'd like you to sing a song with me today. It's called "Peace Like a River," and it's got some actions to go with it. So if you could join me with those actions, that would be awesome. The first one is "Peace like a river." And the next verse is "I've got love like an ocean." You can make some ocean waves. The third verse is "I've got joy like a fountain." Joy like a fountain. And then the last verse goes really fast. It does all those actions in one. "I've got peace, love, and joy like a river." Okay, let's try it. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river, I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean, I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean, got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river in my soul. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river. I've got peace, love, and joy like a river in my soul. Before we go today, I'd like to teach you a prayer. And I would like you to say this at home with your families. And it's called the 5-finger prayer. And when we pray, you often see hands like this. And that symbolizes praying. And so this is what we're going to do to help us remember what to pray for when we pray. So the first finger that we're going to talk about today is our thumb, right here. And our thumb, when we pray, is closest to us. And so that signals that we're going to pray for those that are closest to us. So maybe our parents, our brothers and sisters, our grandparents, our friends, people like that. So who are those people that you can pray for today? And our next finger is our pointer finger, right here. And this finger points the way. And so these are the people that we'll pray for, that point the way for us. So maybe our teachers and our pastors, our youth directors, our Sunday school teachers, people like that. So who can you pray for that point the way for you today? Our next finger is our tallest finger. And that helps us to remember to pray for our leaders, people in leadership positions. So maybe our principal at school, maybe the President of the United States, maybe our police officers. These are the people in leadership roles. So who are those people that you can pray for that are in leadership roles today? Our next finger called our ring finger. And that's our weakest finger. It's the hardest finger to do this with. And so that helps me to remember to pray for those that are weak, that maybe need a little bit more help. Maybe those people that are homeless or that are sick, that are suffering right now. Maybe they're really going through a hard time not being able to go to school or work, or they've lost their job. So who do you think you can pray for today that might need a little extra help? Our last finger is our pinky finger. And our pinky is our last one. It's also the shortest finger. And that reminds us that we need to pray for ourselves. And it's okay to pray for yourself too. And so you can ask God for those things that you might need at that time. And that's all of our fingers, but we also have our palm when we open up the palm of our hand. And in the Bible, it says that God holds us in the palm of his hands and will shower us with many blessings. And so that reminds us that we need to thank God for all of our blessings. So what are those things that you can thank God for today? So just a reminder, our 5-finger prayer, our thumb is to pray for those that are closest to you. Our pointer finger are those people that point the way, like teachers and pastors. Our tallest finger are those that we pray for in leadership positions. Our ring finger is those that are the weakest, that might need a little extra help. And then our pinky is our shortest finger, so you can pray for yourself. And then don't forget those blessings in the palm of your hand, because God holds us in the palm of his hand always. So I'd like you to do that prayer at home with your families. Maybe you can teach them how to do the 5-finger prayer. And just keep practicing. It's okay if you make mistakes and if you repeat things or if you forget things. Thanks again for joining me today. And don't forget to join us at 5:30 on Wednesdays for Grow. And this is for kindergarten through 5th graders. And you can find the link on your church website. So don't forget to do that 5-finger prayer and have a good day. See you next week.